Chevy Trucks Shooting Sports America. Brought to you by Chevy Trucks, Browning, and Federal.
It is considered by many to be among the most grueling and demanding of all the winter sports. And just as in Olympic biathlon, in this roller ski version of the sport, competitors must go all out along miles of a paved cross-country ski track and then literally reverse gears, from full ahead to dead stop as they prepare to fire at targets no larger than silver dollars. It's like asking a boxer to thread a needle between rounds, or an archer to hit the bullseye in the middle of an earthquake. So stay tuned, and we'll be right back with this unique competition. Hi, I'm Tom Gresham, Arms and Ammo Editor of Sports Afield magazine, and it's my pleasure to welcome you to this edition of Chevy Trucks Shooting Sports America. We're here at the Ethan Allen Firing Range in Jericho, Vermont, for the 1994 United States Biathlon Association Fall Festival, a roller ski biathlon competition which will pit our U.S. Olympic biathletes against their Canadian counterparts. And joining me to cover the action is one of America's biathlon legends, a man who was a four-time United States Olympic team member, Lyle Nelson.
Hi, Tom.
Hi, Lyle. It's great to be here with you.
Thank you.
You know, biathlon is clearly an event which places extraordinarily opposite demands on an athlete, from speed and endurance on one hand to rock-steady marksmanship on the other.
That's right, Tom. We're going to see athletes push themselves to the limits of physical ability. They'll be approaching this range with heart rates up to 180 beats per minute, and then they'll instantly have to calm themselves down to hit those silver dollar-sized targets 50 meters downrange.
That's incredible.
It truly is. This is the hardest conditions to shoot in.
While there are a variety of biathlon formats, what are these competitors going to be facing today?
Today's event, Tom, is called the Sprint. It's 7.5 kilometers, about 5 miles through these hills of Vermont. The competitors ski 3 loops. After the first loop, they'll come in and shoot prone. That's the smallest targets. Then they get up and ski another loop, come right back to the same shooting range, and shoot the standing targets. After that, it's a 1 kilometer dash to the finish.
Biathlon is a winter sport, but the roller skis were developed as a training tool. How do they equate to cross-country skis?
Tom, they're almost exactly the same as skiing. When you're out on your roller skis, you use the same technique. It takes the same physical demand. It takes a lot of upper body strength. You're pulling yourself with your arms, and the glide speed of the roller skis feels just like gliding down the hills on snow.
So this really is just like cross-country skiing.
It's cross-country skiing without the snow.
This is the second day of the competition, with the scores from yesterday determining their starting order today, right?
That's right. The fastest competitor from yesterday will go out first, and the others will chase the leader. It's a little bit like the rabbit and the hounds.
Well, it's shaping up to be a great competition. It looks like they're getting ready. So let's go take a look.
First starter will be Stacy Wholey, a veteran of the U.S. national team, certainly the competitor to beat today. Tara Somala was second yesterday from Lake Placid, New York. Right behind her, Chris Valyanin. Chris is a national team member, certainly a fine shooter.
Here at the 1994 U.S. Biathlon Association Fall Festival, there are separate events for men and women, but both compete over the same distance on the same course.
The men and women ski with exactly the same technique. Now, the men are a little faster on the ski course, but once they arrive at the range, it's truly equal between men and women. As we would expect, the first person to arrive at the range is Stacy Wholey, a national team member from the United States.
The biggest problem with concentrating on shooting is moving into a totally different mode from skiing, because the problem is changing gears and making sure you go slow enough in gear down, because as soon as you start slowing down, you think you're walking when you're really still going pretty fast, and so you have to slow down even more, check the wind flags, make sure that you got a good spot to shoot on, that the mat is right, you just do 100 things all in the matter of 10 or 15 seconds and then autopilot again.
When they arrive at the shooting range, There are 5 targets, and they must hit all 5 targets before they can proceed. Now, obviously, the fastest way to do that is to get them with 5 shots. And the penalty, if you don't, is that you have to hand load an additional round, and it takes about 10 seconds to do that.
My range strategy was definitely to shoot fast. Shoot as fast as I could and see what happens and then go from there.
Competitor number 2, Chris Valyanin, has actually passed Kara Salmola. So this is really a race between the front 3 competitors. These competitors can maintain speeds of 20 miles an hour across the flats, and they're approaching 30 miles an hour on the downhill. And you carry momentum as far as you can on the uphill, you break right into a sprint again, you sprint across the top, and get right back up to full speed.
You have to kind of blend the two. You have to know how hard to go into the range and not to go too hard, but hard enough. It's just it's a fine line between going too hard and not hard enough. You have to time your breath because you know your breathing is going to be so erratic, so you have to control your breathing and you can just feel your heart rate pumping.
Stacy Woolley is into shooter standing stages, and some of the competitors are still here shooting prone because they've had difficulty hitting 5. Trying to get her heart to slow down. Oh, that first shot was off so quick and it's a hit.
It's definitely a point in skiing where you only have so much time in the range, and then the lactate starts to set in and your heart rate gets to a funny beat or not a comfortable heart rate, and that's when you start shaking and your body loses control, and it took me 6 shots to get the last shot.
That's certainly put her in first place from here. All she has to do is sprint 1 kilometer to the finish. 5 hits for Chris Valyanin. Now she's out in second place. I doubt very much that Kara can catch her. This is the most frustrating part of biathlon, Tom. You've got 1 target left and take 3 or 4 rounds to hit it. It's such a mental transformation to go from that concentration of shooting to jump up and instantly have to race back out on the ski track. The really bright spot in American biathlon is the women's team. In the last World Cup, the U.S. team finished second in the relay race. We had a 4th place and a 5th place in individual events. Just as you would expect, Tom, when you have the best shooting performance and the fastest skiing in biathlon, you're way out in front. Here's Stacy Woolley, literally unchallenged for first place.
She's pushing it all the way to the line.
That's the natural competitive spirit in these athletes. They will push right to the finish. In second place, actually not far behind, Chris Valyanin. An excellent race for her. She made up a considerable amount of distance. In 3rd place, still sprinting all the way to the finish, Kara Salmola. You must have heard Chris Valyanin come into the range while you were shooting. Did that affect your concentration at all?
The first time when I heard that she was coming in, I thought, oh no, she's caught so much time on me. And then I thought, no, I probably spent about a minute in the range, and I was leaving when she was coming. So she started about a minute behind me, and I knew we were still about even. And the first loop I took pretty easy because I'm very tired from this whole week. So I wanted to save it in case I missed a lot. I could really hammer and still keep ahead of everyone.
The final standings in the women's 7.5K event had Stacy Woolley in first place, followed by Chris Valyanin. 3rd place went to Kara Salmola. Stay tuned for the men's 7.5K race. The men's event is about to get underway, and it promises to be a close race. The leader is starting off with only a 9-second advantage.
First competitor to start today, Curtis Schreiner, certainly the veteran of biathlon here today, a 3-time Olympian. And you can see he is literally sprinting out at the start of this 7.5-kilometer race. Right behind him, Rick Oliver, a member of the Natl team. Out in number 3, Steve Sire from Canada, 8th place at the Olympics.
The top guys are all pretty much the same speed. You know, we're maybe 10 seconds difference and stuff like that. And this course is, it's a pretty difficult course, but it's a lot of long downhills and long uphills. So you get a really big rest, and then you ski up a really long uphill, and it's kind of like doing intervals.
These are the most sophisticated of target rifles. They have to have special equipment so the competitors can carry them on their back while they ski. And they have to be very precise and yet enable the shooter to quickly load the rifle so they don't have to get out of position.
In the shorter races, the shooting makes up the biggest difference in time. The main thing is mentally trying to find that pace that's best for you to calm yourself down before shooting?
My strength is skiing, so try to do my best in the shooting range and catch on skiing. That's what makes great biathlon the challenge.
This is going to determine the race, I think, Tom, right here. Curtis has maintained his lead, but you can tell he's worked extremely hard to do that. It's so important for Curtis to get 5 hits with his first 5 shots. And you know competitor number 2 and 3 are going to shoot as quick as they can to try and make up that time. These are world-class athletes, both physically and mentally. The rigors of cross-country skiing require upper body power, yet you have to have the endurance of a marathon runner. And you can imagine the kind of mental control it takes to arrive here just huffing and puffing with your heart pounding, and then to instantly have composure, physical and mental composure to hit those targets. You can see the grimace on Curtis's face. This has been extreme physical effort, and now he has to calm himself and get total mental concentration. I think Steve has great composure right here. He's very tired, but you can see the look of concentration. He's just going to bear down and hit those targets. 3 out of 3 for Rick. Oh, like they're dead tied right now. They're both reaching for an extra round. They have 1 target remaining. Curtis had a problem. His rifle jammed. There he goes. He's got it. Curtis should have about a 10-second lead if Rick gets this shot. Curtis is getting such a lead on him. There he goes. It's possible. Rick could ski him down, but it's unlikely in this case. Steve's shooting better than that. 1 more hit and he's out of here. They're going faster than 4-minute miles on this course. As we expected, Curtis has maintained his lead. Curtis Reiner, a 3-time Olympian, started in front, maintained the lead all the way, but he won both on his skiing and shooting. Rick Oliver probably 20 seconds behind him. That's just 2 extra bullets on the range. Now we have a real horse race. This is going to be a definite sprint for the finish. I don't know if this trail is wide enough for all 3 of them to have this photo finish. Curtis, we hear a lot of talk about the zen-like concentration it takes to shoot. Were you aware that Rick Oliver is in the range while you were shooting?
Yeah, I definitely knew he was there. I saw him come in out of the corner of my eye, so I knew when I started shooting standing that after I missed 3 shots out of my first 5 and he came in, I could pretty much see what he was shooting, that I was behind him, and that the only way I could possibly beat him was to hit my next 3 with each round and have him miss. And that's what happened, fortunately for me.
The final standings in the men's 7.5K event had Kurt Schreiner in first, Rick Oliver in second, and Canadian Steve Sire in third. Coming up next, the National Field Archery Championships.
And now a shooting tip from Grits Gresham, brought to you by the National Shooting Sports Foundation.
In the game of trap shooting, looking at the wrong place can lead to problems. Newcomers, for example, frequently have a tendency to look at an area well above the trap house just before they call pull. Now, while this view may seem natural, it can lead to missed targets. Here's why. If your focus is quite high above the trap house, you'll encounter those targets, especially left or right crossers, that will have gotten well out of the trap before you can even see them. When you finally pick up the target, you'll be forced to try and catch up, and likely try to rush your shot before the bird is out of range. Instead, lower your focus to a line that's just on top of the trap house. That way, you'll pick up the target as soon as it leaves the house, allowing plenty of time for a smooth, confident swing. Up. Up. So, if you often feel you're a few beats behind the target, try lowering your gaze toward the top of the trap house the next time you're ready to call for a target. Field archery is perhaps the most demanding of all the archery disciplines, with targets set out in natural surroundings at distances from 10 all the way out to 60 meters. Competitors move through the course firing at the various stations, each presenting a new perspective in terms of terrain and target layout. And with some of the bullseyes literally no larger than a nickel, a field course may well be the ultimate challenge for today's archer. We're here in the Superstition Mountains near Mesa, Arizona, for the 1994 U.S. National Field Archery Championships. 140 of America's best archers, men and women, are here to compete on this demanding course. And it's not just the U.S. national crowns that are on the line here. For this two-day event will determine the 14 archers that will make up the U.S. national field team. Every shooter here faces not only the psychological pressure of going head-to-head against all the top archers in the country, but also the physical challenge of competing on a mountainous, high-desert course in 100-degree-plus heat. Earlier, I had the chance to talk with world team coach and former world and 10-time national champion, Tim Strickland.
Well, field archery has a lot of challenges. It has quite a variety. You never see the same thing twice. You may walk up to one and be right on top of you, maybe 15 meters away. You may go to the next target and you have a 60-meter target. The first one may be straight up almost, it seems like it sometimes, and the next one may be on quite an angle downhill.
The challenge for this type of a format is a little different than the field archery that we normally shoot in the States, because this consists of 2 rounds, one of which is marked. You know, you're shooting a metric round where you shoot anywhere from about 10 meters out to 60 meters. But then you'll shoot 1 round where it's going to be completely unmarked. We shoot out to 55 meters, which is just about 60 yards, where you walk up and you have to make your best guess. So it's a little different environment for most of the shooters, and it's one where some of the people have played it a little bit, some of them haven't played it at all. So that's really where a lot of the separation is probably going to take place.
I like field archery because it's a good break from Olympic-style competition where you're standing on a big cow pasture and shooting at known distances, and out here you're walking up and down hills and shooting across creeks.
Tim, what kind of bows are used in this competition?
We actually have 2 different types of bows used here. We have the recurve bow, and then we have the compound bow. Now the recurve bow, it's strung basically from end to end, and it has a recurve limb. And that recurve actually helps to give it some of the strength or some of the efficiency. The recurve is also the same type of equipment that's shot in the Olympic Games. Now the compound bow has what looks like wheels on the end of it. They're actually eccentric wheels because they're not drilled through the center, they're actually drilled off center. What that does is it gives you a mechanical advantage. In other words, if you have a 50-pound bow, now that's 50-pound draw weight, then you would only be holding about 25 pounds.
I would definitely say the compound is more accurate. You have a lot of advantages. You have a mechanical advantage. You have a peep sight in the string. You're allowed to use scopes and levels. So there's a lot of things on a compound that you can't use with a recurve. The recurve is much more challenging and physically demanding.
In the recurve division, Jay Bars is going to probably lead that. He's been the strongest we've had from the United States. You have Rick McKinney. Rick's from Arizona. He's used to the heat. He'll be very, very tough. You have Alan Razor. Now, Alan was on the team the last time we went to Holland. He's very good on the unmarked distances.
The people who are shooting really well know how to think through this game. It really is a thinking man's game because you've got to, on every target and every shot, you've got to calculate what the distance is, the type of terrain you're shooting, and be able to judge that well and still execute, still stay within your game.
Really good field archer needs to be able to adjust for up and downhill, take off a little bit of yardage, or especially out here in the desert, to play the wind if there's a little bit of drift. And that's what's going to make a good field archer out here in the desert.
In the men's Olympic bow division, it came down to a tight race among 3 of America's top archers. On the final bank of targets, Jay Bars of Salt Lake City didn't let up and came in with a great final round score of 674 to take the championship. Second place went to Rick McKinney with a score of 661, and third place was taken by Butch Johnson with a 653.
In the women's, we have Michelle Ragsdale. She's been shooting lights out this year. So I look for Michelle to finish real strong. We have a couple of young people. Yeah, Inga Lowe. Now, Inga was on the team the last time around that went to Holland. Teresa Fazio, she's won the nationals the last couple of years. Then we also have Nancy Zorn, and Nancy's been very, very tough lately. She's really shooting strong.
Stay tuned. We'll be right back with the finals of the women's compound bow division. It was truly a seesaw battle among these top women archers, and it would take the very last shooting stand to determine the champion of the women's compound division.
It's kind of ironic. This is the first time even Michelle, even though she's a real veteran at competition, this is the first time as far as trying to go to the World Championships. Yeah. And Inga Lowe here was on the last team.
Yeah. When you get down to pressure like this on the last go-round, you've been in it. What counts the most?
Oh my goodness. Keeping your head together. Just keep it together to where you're thinking about what you're going to do. Just stay with your shots.
How was Orange's shot?
Yes.
Looks like both of them got threes there.
Yeah. Inga brought that up. See, she on the first one, since these are unmarked, she walked up there first of all. Inga did, and she misjudged it a little bit. So that'll cost her. Yeah, that cost her a couple points right there, right off in that first arrow.
Yeah.
And the second one, she still didn't give it enough. In fact, that one's low enough. It may even be a two there.
Yeah.
Now we got another battle going here also between Nancy Zorn and Teresa Fazio.
Yeah. Last two in there for five, weren't they?
Now see, Inga came back and she had shot pretty strong on that last arrow. Now we got Michelle coming up and she's shooting the bottom targets. See, she went to school, she stuck it. She jumped right up there and took her best guess and got right to the shot. Now we got Teresa to see, and see again, she shot a little low on that first one.
Sure did.
She got a little bit off, so.
She's got 3 points there.
Right. Here you got a little crosswind blowing across here, so they got to take that into consideration.
Michelle got a 5 on that one.
This is going to be a real tough battle here to see the team. That's right.
There's
Zorn's right there.
Yeah, she got two 5s and one that's, I guess, it's probably a 3.
So this is a real important arrow here to Teresa, to see if she gets on the team.
Yeah. You made a trip to France, huh?
That's right, making a trip to France. Say she came right back on, we're going to have to tally up the scores to see what happens on this day. This is going to be real close, real close. It'll depend on what Michelle does. There, she stuck out with 2, see, so she's right there. She's zeroed in. She knows what's going on. Yeah, that's experience, exactly. So for sure we got Inga and Michelle on the team, and Michelle ended up in first here.
The final scores, Michelle Ragsdale in first with a 6.26, followed by Inga Lowe in second and Nancy Zorn in third.
I just really think that the weather played a really good part. We didn't have a lot of wind, and that really helped, and just had some really good sight marks, and so just got lucky, I guess.
Well, Kim, after the last couple of days, I'm confident there's no shortage of world-class American shooters. With Olympics coming up, what have we got to look forward to?
I totally agree with you, Grits. In fact, some of these folks really turned in some fantastic scores. In fact, I'm sure that most of them wish that tomorrow the Olympics were happening.
Well, I look forward to it, and I enjoyed being with you the last few days. Thank you for being with us, and we hope you'll join us again on the next edition of Chevy Trucks Shooting Sports America.
Chevy Trucks Shooting Sports America, brought to you by Ruger, Weatherby, and Winchester.